road straight to work. Yes, I am exhausted. I left I left Cincinnati this morning at about 5:30 this morning to get back to Georgia to get myself ready for work. But last night, I just wanted to make this quick video because last night, when I went into my home in Cincinnati, I had a lot of papers, a lot of items that I just left because I still have the house. I didn't get rid of my house. So there were a few things that my sister had bagged up for me to go through. And when I started going through the bags, before I brought everything down to Georgia, I said, well, let me just go through these bags and make sure there's nothing that I don't need. I don't want to bring any unnecessary papers or junk to my home. So I decided to go through the paper in the bags, and it was pictures and so forth and so on. But as I continued to go through this bag, excuse me, there was an obituary. And the obituary was of, now hear me, I think I've mentioned this several times. The obituary was of my ex-husband's girlfriend. Not only was it her obituary, it was a few other things of his and hers. And the way I got them was because he had left them at a family member's house, and the family member felt it was okay for me to take them. Me being me, I just took the bag, and once I had it, I said I didn't want to get rid of it, whether me and this lady was on bad terms or not. I just didn't want to throw her items away. I just felt it was kind of disrespectful. So it's been years. I moved to Georgia, and last night when I went through that bag, when I pulled that obituary out and the other items, I showed my sister, and my sister was like, why do you have that? And I was telling her, and she told me, like, yeah, just throw it in the trash, because if it was me, I wouldn't take that bad energy with me. And I had never taken the time to read the obituary. So I opened the obituary up and I began to read it. You see how big my eyes got. I began to read it, and as I began to read it, it said her fiance, but it was my ex-husband's name in there. And I was telling my sister about it, and my sister was like, whoa, that's crazy. And she said, yeah, I would just pitch that obituary. I wouldn't even take that to my house. And I looked at my sister, and I kind of grinned, and I told my sister, I said, I'm not pitching it. I said, because you know why I'm not pitching it? I said, it was a point in time where everything that I had been through was a trigger for me. It caused a trauma. It made me go into some kind of trauma response, and I would get into a depression. But last night, seeing that obituary made me not go into a trauma response, or it didn't trigger me, but what it did for me was it showed me how much God had my back. Through all the things that I have been through in life,